While you are my guests, our trip to a place called Jellybeanville is guaranteed to touch your heart. Jellybeanville is not on any map of municipalities, but most assuredly, Jellybeanville does exist. Most every house with some age on it has a story to tell. If a house could talk, it would tell of the generations of people who lived therein. But sometimes a house does talk, like this one, speaking a colorful language. The house on Zeman Avenue in Euclid is wearing its new spring clothes, an Easter selection. Here the religious celebration is carried out in vibrancy and style. Much of this is about family. More on that shortly. But if it is eye-catching Easter you want, come with me to what is Jellybeanville. The man who lives in Jellybeanville expects the world will beat a pathway to his front door.
People who even moved out come back purposely to come and see it.
And every year you know it's going to be here.
Yes, every year.
A showstopper of an Easter display. So much so, our official breaking news helicopter, Air Tracker 5, could not fly overhead without making a 1,000-foot high U-turn for an over-the-house hover and a long look-see down. You would hover too. On Zeman Avenue in Euclid lives a man who is a close personal friend of the Easter Bunny. Steve Kasalak is the mayor of his Jellybeanville.
Every year it changes, and every year I redo the characters, and they're all different colors and different clothes.
You get the idea. This Euclid neighborhood waits each Easter season to see what Steve Kasalak will do. His plastic Easter eggs and signs and bunnies all celebrate the religious day. Kids look wide-eyed at Jellybeanville. Many grown-ups, too, perhaps remembering their own childhoods when their parents taught them about Easter.
Yeah, folks gave you Easter basket.
Easter basket, whole works.
Yeah.
Yes, sure did.
But they didn't do all this.
No, not like this. This is unbelievable.
So when you saw this, you said, now that's a dedicated man.
That's a dedicated. Love Easter, love kids, because kids love this.
What's your favorite color?
This brings us back to Steve Kasalak, the mayor of Jellybeanville, who has been known to put up displays even in spring snow. One year, fighting snowflakes falling on his Easter show, he spray-painted colorful food dye on the snow. Weather was outdone. Steve grew up in this house, beginning his decorations here at age 7. 57 years later, the beat goes on, growing larger.
I'm told this is a one-man show.
Yes.
That this is just you.
Just me.
Nobody else.
No one else helps me.
It begins as a jigsaw puzzle in Steve's head. Then he fits his ideas together into his Easter story. But Kasalak has an interesting past. Years ago, he was a licensed funeral director. Before that, in the late 70s, he was a disco dancer on the Cleveland TV show Dance Fever.
I was Macho Man of Cleveland. Don't I look macho now? Yeah, right.
Well, Macho Man, you are more Easter Bunny now. But that is a compliment, because Kasalak helps beautify his Euclid neighborhood. The pieces and parts of Jellybeanville have special meaning, characters and cutouts, and not just there by chance.
He's got one of his mom, one of himself, one of his friend of his.
And she would always tell me when I was a child, Steve, quit putting that junk in the yard. So when she died, I made a cutout of her, and I said, well, I will remember Mom every Easter. My mom.
Image right over your shoulder
there.
over there. And who's that right there?
The man is my dad, who just turned 90 this year.
There is something else happening here beyond what you see. It's a deep appreciation for family and the childhood that Steve Kasalak had growing up in this very house. You see, this Easter display is really what Easter is all about. Life.
Nothing more important than your family in your life. Stick together through thick and thin.
A My Ohio man who remembers a good childhood and still living where he grew up. Through old photographs, Steve Kasalak recalls his Zeman Avenue youth and his earliest front lawn Easter decorations. Steve Kasalak has kept the faith and kept the front lawn feature foremost in mind, offering it to any passerby as he celebrates the Easter season. Every holiday, Steve Kasalak has a special decorated front lawn on his Zeman Avenue home in Euclid. Next up, by the way, is Memorial Day. Also, Jellybeanville will stay in place until Monday, when Kasalak, who's a full-time salesman for a conference center and a part-time Easter bunny, will take it down. Allow me a personal note here. Have a happy Easter. I'm Leon Bibb.